Welcome back, guys. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the registration screens and the login screens. So first of all, I will show you the demo of both as a authentication process, that means registration and login in the deployed version. So this is the deployed version. If you click on login, it will navigate it to the login screen, and if the user has not signed up, you just need to click on this link, click here to register. So this is the registration page. So we have 4 fields in the registration box: name, email, password and the confirm password. So if you click on the register, the details will be registered as the new user. So first of all, we have to create 2 screens. The first one is registration screen and the second one is login screen, and we also need to create the root for both. So already we have seen the demo. Now let's go to our code. So this is our code. In the screens, I am going to create the new screen, register screen. This is the first one, and the second screen is login screen. Login screen.js. So in both the screens, I am going to add the functional component RFC. In the h1 text, I am going to write the snippet. So this is registration screen, register screen, and in the login screen also I am going to create the functional component RFC. Come on, yeah. So h1 login screen, Control S. Now I am going to import these both registration screens and login screens in the app.js because we have to add the root for them. So first of all, I'll import register screen, and the next one is login screen. That's it. Now let me create the root for both. Root path equal to, if the path is register, we have to render the register component register screen, and if path is equal to login, root path equal to login. Then we need to write exact component is equal to login screen. That's it, guys. Control S. So now in the navbar also I am going to change the root. So where is navbar? This is navbar. At the bottom we have the login link anchor tag. So here I am going to change the root to login. Control S. So let's go to the output, refresh the page. So now if I click on the login page, here you can see now we are in the login screen. So now we have to design the login screen and the registration screens. So first of all, we have to register, then we need to log in. So I will change the root in the application to the register. So this is the register screen. So now I am going to create the UI like this. So first of all, I will create one row in the register screen. Remove this h1 text row. In this row I will use 5 columns, dot call md5, and I will put all these columns at the center of the page. So I just need to add one line, justify content center, Control S, and here I am going to create another div. So in this div I am going to write the input fields. So if you want to use form, you can use form. If you want to use normal div, you can. So let me write the input fields. Input type is equal to text, placeholder is equal to name, and class is equal to form control. I think these are enough as of now. Let's check. So we got name and form control. So placeholder, we got name. Let me create the remaining things, copy it and paste it for the remaining values. So I am going a little bit fast because these are the normal things. Already you might be having some knowledge about this. The second one is email, third one is password, and fourth one is confirm password. Control S. Let's check. So we got all the things: name, email, password and confirm passwords. So let me add some styling for these input fields. Open index.js, this is index.css, not index.js. I am going to add the styling for input. So just add margin top 10, apply the important tag, and remove the box shadow none, important, Control S. Yeah, now it's looking good. And if you want to bring this div at the center, you just need to add margin top for the column d5. So where it is, register screen. So for this row you can add mt5. So if you want to add up to 50 pixels, you can add it here. If you want to add more than 50 pixels, you need to write the CSS styling. So this is enough. And if you want to add here also, you can add mt5. So now it came down somewhat. So now I will create the button, input. So I'll create normal button, class is equal to btn, and value is equal to register, Control S. So this button is at the center of the page, so I will move it to the left side. So I'll write text left. So it is at the left side now. I'll add some margin for this button, mt3 or mt2, margin top 20. So now it's enough. If you want to add more than 20 also, you can add. I'll add 50. So you'll see the higher gap. 50 is more high, I think so. Let me add 30. It's average. Yeah, now it's looking good. So at the top I will add one h1 text to show this is the registration div. So h1 text size is less, so that's the reason I'm going to use h2 register. So I'm going to write the style property for increasing font, style, font size, and I will write 35 pixels, Control S. Yeah, so this is the register div. So if you want to bring this at the center of the page, you just need to add the class text center for the div, class name text center. So now the div is at the center of the page. So if you want to add the margin for this h1 text also, you can add. I'll add m2 margin 20 from all the sides. So now it's looking better. So now I will add the variables for these input fields, because we have to take the values from these input fields. So I am going to use the useState, import useState and useEffect, useState and useEffect, Control S. And here I am going to create the hook variables, const name, set name, is equal to useState. Initially it is empty. That's it. Like this way I'm going to create the remaining two. Const email, set email is equal to useState empty, and the last one is password, const password, set password. Initially it is empty. Now I'm going to assign these values for these input fields. So first of all, let me format the document. So now for every input field I'm going to add value is equal to name, and I'm going to write the onChange function here. OnChange, we have to write the arrow function, and here we need to take the event as the parameter, set name e.target.value. So here also same, value equal to, I think, password. So this is email, I think so. Yeah, sorry, this is the password. Placeholder is equal to password. Here also password, and on change also set password. So at the top we have to write the remaining things. Value is equal to, this is for name, and here I will write onChange. OnChange is equal to arrow function, e as parameter, and set name e.target.value. So here we need to repeat the same thing for email. Value is equal to email, and on change set email e.target.value. So already we have completed for the password, and at the last we have to repeat it for the confirm password. So I forgot to create the variable for confirm password. Here I will create const. So confirm password variable is cpassword. Cpassword and set cpassword. So is equal to useState. It is also initially empty. So for the last input field, I am going to write the value as cpassword, and here I am going to write the on change set cpassword. Set cpassword e.target.value. Control S. So now after clicking on the register button, I will print all the values in the console. So if here we forgot to add the one more property for the input field, that is required. Here also I will write required. Here also I will write required, and for the second input field also I will write required. Control S. So here I am going to write the on click event for the button. On click I will write register. This is the function I am going to write at the top. It's function register. So here first we have to check if the passwords are matched. If password is not equal to cpassword, then we have to alert passwords not matched. Passwords not matched. Else I am going to create the object of the user, const user equal to, so name, email and password. So here it is nothing but name is equal to name, email is equal to email, and password is equal to password. So then I will print the value in the console, user object in the console, because we need to send it to the backend for the registration purpose. So let's check it. Refresh the page. So let me open the console. So we do not have any errors. So I will write name is equal to ABC, email is equal to abc123@gmail.com, password is equal to 987654. So here I am showing you the password because we need to understand whether we got the correct things or not. 987654. Now I will click on the register button. Here you can see I got the object in the console. Suppose if the passwords are not matched, it will show the error. Here you can see passwords not matched. So if the passwords are matched, it will print the data in the console. Register. So now we have the user data. So in the next lecture we are going to create the actions and reducers for the user registration. Thank you. Welcome back guys. In the previous lecture we have completed the design of our registration component. Now in this lecture we are going to complete the logic behind the registration component in the front end. So first we have to create the actions to dispatch the asynchronous functions, and then we need to create the reducers to update the state in our components. So first of all, let me create the user actions. Actions, I am going to create the new one, user actions.js, and I am going to create the new reducer, user reducers.js, user reducer.js. And here I am going to write the code in the user actions. Export const register user, U is capital, user equal to dispatch. So here I am going to write the logic. First of all, we have to dispatch the request. That means the user registration request has been sent like that. So dispatch type is equal to user register request. So whenever this function is called, we have to set the user register request. Then we need to write try catch. So here I am going to import the Axios. Import Axios from Axios, and here we need to send the data to the backend. So I'll write Axios dot post. So the first parameter is link. So /API /users /register. So as of now we haven't created this route. Later we will create. First we will complete the front end part, then we will go with the backend, and we are going to send the user as our data. So first we have to receive it here, user. That's it. Control S. So if there is any error, you will get the response here. If there is no error, you will get the user dispatch user register success. So copy it here, user register success. Control S. And here I am going to write user register failed. If there is anything wrong, I have to set like this, failed. Control S. So this is in the front end part in the user actions. So if you want to write this as asynchronous, you just need to write async dispatch. Here I am going to write const response is equal to await Axios.post. So now this function will be treated as asynchronous function. Now let me write the code in the reducer. So we have created three reducers, not three reducers, three actions: user register request, user register success, and user register failed. So for these three actions we have to do something in the user reducer. First of all, I will write export const register user reducer is equal to state is the first parameter and the second parameter is action. And now I am going to write function. So switch case, switch action dot type. So here we have to check all the things. Case first one, user register request. Here I am going to write return. So if the request is sent, we have to set loading is equal to true, and copy it and paste it here. User register success. If it is success, we have to set loading is equal to false, and we will write one more thing: success is equal to true. Success is equal to true. And the next one is user register failed. Then I will write loading is equal to false, error is equal to true. So you can write the error with the message only. Error is equal to action.payload. So if the registration is failed, I am going to send the error in the payload in the user actions. So here if it is failed, payload is equal to error. Control S. So now we have completed the logic in the user actions and the user reducer.js. So now I am going to add this reducer in the final reducer. So where is final reducer? Yeah, here it is. So I am going to write register user reducer, register user reducer. So here also register user reducer. Control S. So that's it, guys. So we have completed the registration logic in the front end, that means in the actions and in the reducers. So in the next lecture we are going to create the model of the reducer, not reducer, user, and we are going to store the details in the MongoDB. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. In this lecture we are going to create the model of the user. So already we have created the logic for the registration or registering new user in the front end. So to register a new user in the backend with the help of Node.js, we have to create the model. So already we have the models folder and we have the pizza model. Now I am going to create the new model which is called as the user model .js. So user model is very simple. So first of all, I will require Mongoose. Now I'm going to create the schema. Const user schema equal to mongoose.schema. Mongoose.schema. So every user is having the name property. Name is equal to type string. So name, sorry, here we need to write in the curly braces, type is equal to string, and it is required. String, it is required. And the next one is email. It is also type string, it is also required. Put comma here. And the last one is password, type string, it is also required. And I'm going to write one more thing, is admin. So if the user is having the admin access, we have to set this as true. So by default, every user is not an admin. That's the reason I'm going to write is admin is equal to false. So it is a boolean, type is equal to boolean, type boolean require, and I'll write default is equal to false. Control S, and I'm going to create the timestamps. Timestamps is equal to true. Timestamps is equal to true. Control S. So now I'm going to create the model, or we can directly export the model. So module, I'll directly write that module.exports is equal to mongoose.model. Mongoose.model. So the first parameter is collection name, that is users, and the second parameter is schema, user schema. Control S. So this is about the user model. So in the next lecture, we are going to write the backend logic for creating the new user or registering the new user. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. In the previous lecture, we have created the user model. So now in this lecture, we are going to create the backend code for the registering new user. So first of all, I will create the new route for users. User route.js. So in this user route.js, I am going to require the express and the router. So you just need to write router, express router. So now I am going to write the first endpoint, which is used for registration, router.post. The endpoint is register. So now I am going to take the values from the request.body. So I am going to destructure out them. Const name, email, password is equal to request.body. So now I will import the user model. Const user is equal to require dot slash I think so dot slash models slash user model. Now I am going to create the model. Const new user is equal to new of user. So here I am going to write name, email, and password. That means name is equal to name, email is equal to email, and password is equal to password. So now I am going to write the try catch. So here I am going to write the async function. So you need not to write everything in the MongoDB. So I just write const, or you need not write const, you just need to write new user.save. New user.save. That's it. If there is no any error, so response.send user registered successfully. User registered successfully. Else we need to catch the error. Catch the error. Response.error. Here I am going to write, I am going to send the error only. Message is equal to error. Control S. So that's it guys. So we have completed the register logic in the backend also. Now I'm going to export this router. Module.export is equal to router, control S. So now I'm going to create the entry point for this user root in the server.js. So first of all I will write the const, where it is here, const user root is equal to require roots slash user root, and I am going to create the app.use. So if the API link is coming with slash API slash user, then we need to send it to the user root, control S. So that's it. We have completed everything in the backend. Now we have to dispatch the action from the register screen. So if the passwords are matched, I am going to dispatch the action. Before dispatching, first we need to import them. Import use dispatch and use selector from React Redux. Now I am going to create the object of the dispatch here. Const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. That's it. And I'm going to import the register user action. That's it. So now I'm going to dispatch the action by sending the user. Dispatch register user, parameter is user, control S. So that's it. We have written everything. Now let's try this. So first of all, let me refresh the page. So we got an error, register user reducer returned undefined during initialization. So in the user register reducer, I forgot to write the default. So that's the reason we got the error. Default is equal to return state, control S. Now the error should gone. Refresh the page. You can see now there is no error. So inspect console. So after getting the response, let me print the response in the console. User actions CL response, control S. Yeah, so I'll register with the details. ABC, name is ABC, abc123@gmail.com, and password is equal to 987654. Here also 987654. Now I will click on the register button. So here we can see we got an error from the error 404 status code, localhost 3000 API slash users slash register. So 404 not found. Let me check the network. Register. So cannot post API slash users slash register. So if you open Redux also, you will get the user register failed. User register failed. Error is equal to request failed with length. So we got error from the backend. So we are printing the error here. So this is error from request failed with status code 404. So let me check the error now. So in the backend there is no error. You can see we have error in only front end, I think so. Axios.post API users and register. We are sending the user as our parameter, and let's open the backend. So here we have wrapped the user in the curly braces. First of all, let's remove these curly braces because it is a single object. Control S. Now let's try this. It should work now. Refresh the page. So ABC here, abc123@gmail.com, and password is equal to, I'll write 123456. Here also 123456. Now I'm going to click on the register button. So user register request, and again the request is failed. User register failed. So again we got the same error. I think register failed with status 404. So I think we have created the wrong entry point in the backend. Let's go to the server.js. So this is the server.js, user root is equal to require. So here we have written only singular. So user, it's not user, it is users slash API slash users. Then we need to navigate to the user root.js. Control S. So slash API slash users. Here also slash API slash user. Now it should work. So let me click on this register. So here you can see user register request and user register success. So we got loading is equal to false and success is equal to true. If you open the network also, you can able to see the response user registered successfully. If you want to see in the console also, you can see it. Data user registered successfully. Now I will open MongoDB. So this is MongoDB MERN pizza. Now I am going to hit the refresh button. So here you can see we got the users collection. Click on it. So this is the data of the first user. Is_admin is equal to false, name is equal to ABC, email 123, password, all the things, etc. So now I am going to register the second user. So I am going to change the username as XYZ. Here also I am going to change xyz123@gmail.com. And I am going to keep the password as same. So again we got the same response, user registered successfully. Let's refresh the MongoDB. So I got the second user details, name is equal to XYZ, email is equal to XYZ123 and password is equal to 123456. And we also got these timestamps created at and the updated at. So this is about the user registration. So in the next lecture we are going to discuss about the login process. Thank you. Welcome back guys. In the previous lectures we have discussed about the registration and the login logics. So now in this lecture we are going to complete our authentication process. So first of all, whenever the login is successful, we have to send the user data from the backend to the front end, because we need to store that data in the console, that means in the local storage. So let me do that. First of all, we have to navigate to the roots. So this is the user root. So if the login is successful, we have to send this user object. So response dot send. So instead of this user logged in successfully, you need to send user of 0. User of 0. Control S, because here user is an array. So in that user we have to send the first object. So in that first object we'll be having the, I think, password field also present in the first object. So we should not send the password. You have to send only name, email, ID and the admin access, whether the user is admin or not. First of all, I will open the MongoDB and I will show you the users. So these are the users. So whenever the login is successful, you have to send these details to the front end. So let me show you that. So I will send the, first of all I will create one object, const user equal to, or you can write current user equal to name is equal to user of 0 dot name, user of 0 dot name, because user is an array. In the first object we are having the user details. Email is equal to user dot 0 email, and the last one is admin access. So is admin. Here also we have to write the same thing, and we also need to send the one more, which is called as the ID. So ID is equal to user of 0 dot ID. Control S. So now let's try to log in with the details, whether we are sending these details to the front end or not. So here I am going to write response.send user. Control S. So whenever the login is successful, we will get these details from the back end to the front end. So it's not user, it's current user. Control S. So let's refresh the page and open the Redux state for the login reducers. Redux So here you can see initially there is no values in the login reducer. Now I am going to log in with the details xyz123@gmail.com, and I will enter the password 123456. Login. So here you can see now we got the details. So loading is equal to false, success is equal to true. If you open the network and login, here you can see we got these details. Email is equal to xyz123@gmail.com, name is equal to xyz, and this is the user ID. So now we have to store these details in the state. So it's very simple. In the user actions, you have to send the data to the user login success. So here payload is equal to response dot data, control S. So now in the reducer also I am going to create the current user object, user reducer. So here first I am going to create current user is equal to null. Here we need not to create because it is an object. If it is array, we have to create it. So here if the login is successful, I am going to create current user is equal to action dot payload, control S. Now let's try to log in with the details. Same details, xyz123@gmail.com, and password is equal to 123456. Login. So here you can see we got the details. Now you should be able to see these details in the reducer also. Open login reducer, Redux. So here you can see in the state, in the login reducer, we got the current user object. So here we have a glitch. So after refresh, this state will be expired. Here once I will refresh it, here you can see there is no details in the state now. So to avoid this, we have to store the current user in the local storage. So in the store we have to write that logic. Where it is? Here you can see store.js. So as like the cart items, we have to create the current user. So I am going to create const current user is equal to, so first we have to check whether local storage is there or not for the current user. So local storage dot get item. So instead of cart items, you have to write current user. So if there is any variable with the name current user, we have to assign it to json.parse local storage.get item current user. Else if there is no user, you have to set it to null. That means the user is not logged in. Control S. So now we have to add this current user to the login reducer initial state. So I am going to write login reducer, login user reducer. So here I am going to initialize the current user. Here also current user, control S. That's it. So after getting logged in, we have to store the details in the local storage. So user actions. So whenever the login is successful, here we have to store them in the local storage. Local storage dot set item current user, and the value is equal to json dot stringify response dot data, control S. That's it guys. Now you should be able to get the data even if you refresh also. Refresh. Now let's try to log in. So I'll log in with the details abc123@gmail.com and 123456. Login. So here you can see we got the data. So in the data we got user details. Now let's try to open the state, Redux. So in the login reducers, we got the current user object. So after the refresh also, you should be able to see this current user. Now I will refresh state. Here you can see after the refresh also, we can see the current user. That means the user is still logged in. So if you open the application, you can see the current user. So in the local storage, so email is admin, name and the ID. So now we have to navigate to the home page after getting successfully logged in. So you just need to write window dot location dot href equal to home page. Control S. So let's try this now. So in the login page, I am going to write the use effect hook. So if the user is already present in the application, you should not display the login page. It will be directly redirected to the home page. So I am going to write the use effect. So here we have to check. So how can we check? First we have to get the object of the current user in the local storage or the login reducer. You can select both. So here I am going to check the local storage directly. If local storage dot get item current user. So if the current user is already present in the local storage, we should directly redirect it to the home page. Window dot location dot href is equal to home page. That's it. Now let's open. Here you can see we have directly redirected to the home page. So if you go to the login page also, you cannot see the login because we have already user in our application. Login. So here you can see we should be directly able to log into, you should be directly able to redirect it to the home page. So now after getting redirected to the home page, we have to update the nav bar. So instead of showing this login, you have to show the logged in user name. So now I will show you that. So where is nav bar? Nav bar in the components we are having nav bar. So here we have this icon li. So here I am going to write the conditional rendering. First of all, we have to get the user state or login user state. I am going to write const user state equal to use selector state is equal to state dot login user reducer. Login user reducer. Control S. Now I am going to destructure out the current user. Const current user is equal to user state. User state. Control S. So now we have to check here. So I am going to write the conditional rendering. If current user is equal to true, if current user is present, then we have to render so this li, or I will render one div. So first I will render one simple li tag li. So in this li I am going to write the current user dot name. Current user dot name. Control S. Else if there is no current user, you have to show the login button or login icon. You have to show this. It's very simple. Paste it here. That's it guys. Control S. So if the current user is present, you have to show the logged in username. If it is not present, you have to show the login anchor tag. Let me format it. So now you can able to show understand this better. Let's open. Here you can see we got ABC because already we have the user. So here our logic is working fine. So now let's see the deployed version, what we have to show here. So for the testing purpose, I have displayed the username if the user is logged in, but in the deployed version we have some different things. So I haven't logged in the deployed version. Let me log in. So I'm going to log in. So in the deployed version also I have used the same names. Invalid credentials. I think so. I said 1 2 3. So I think I forgot the credentials in the deployed version. So let me check and I will come back. So welcome back guys. I have checked the details. Now I am going to enter the valid credentials. The password is 123456. Login 987654. Now it should work. Yeah, so this is the home page for the logged in user. So if the user is logged in, we have to show one drop down list like this. So first we have to show the name in the drop down list, and the list contains orders and logout. So we have to design the home page for the login user like this. So let me create the drop down in our developing version, that means current version. So I am going to use the bootstrap drop down. So let me open the bootstrap drop down. Bootstrap drop down. So I'm going to copy the simple drop down. So this is better, it's looking very simple. Copy it and paste it here. So if the current user is there, you have to show this drop down. Yeah, so now I'm going to change this. So instead of button, I am going to use the a tag, that means anchor tag. So remove the button, here also remove the button, and here also you need to remove these button classes. Yeah, so wherever the class is present, please change it to class name. So class name, here also class name. If you use class name class also, you don't get errors, but it is opposite to the React. Control S. So in the anchor tag, I am going to write current user dot name, current user dot name. Control S. And in the drop down list, we need only two things. The first one is orders and the second one is logout button. So first one I will create orders, and the second one is logout. Control S. So now let's see the output. So we got the drop down, but the drop down is not showing because we have imported bootstrap CSS only. So to see the drop down, you have to import bootstrap JS also. Now I will show you that how to import the bootstrap JS related modules. So to get the bootstrap drop down in React, you just need to add one line in the app.js. So open app.js, and here I am going to add import bootstrap. Import. So if you write import bootstrap, the bootstrap JS functionalities will be imported. So now let's try to click on the drop down. So here you can see, if I click on ABC, we'll get the orders and the logout. So now I will bring this ABC at the bottom. So I will add margin top. So where is navbar? This is navbar. And for this class, I am going to add empty 1 or 2. First of all, I will add empty 1 and I will check whether it is satisfied or not. So I think empty 2 is better. Yeah, empty 2 is much better. So now I am going to change this color. So you can change it to black color directly. So for this A class, I am going to add nav link because already we have written style for nav link. So it will be color changed. Here you can see, now we got the ABC. So here if you use navlink, the cart goes up. So instead of applying the navlink class, you can apply the style property directly. So let's remove the navlink. So now everything is good. Now I am going to apply the style property for this A link. Style color is equal to black. Now it should work. Yeah, here you can see the color changed successfully. So order and logout. So if you want to see this in the mobile screen also, you can see it. So this is the mobile screen, this is the navbar, and here you can see drop down, orders and logout. Again, if you click on it, it will be closed automatically. So if you refresh the page also, you can able to see everything clearly. So here you can see I have refreshed the page and you can able to see the ABC right here only. So this is about the authentication process. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the loading, error and the success components. So first of all I will show you what are these in the deployed version. So here you can see if it is reloading, you can able to see the loading icon. Again if I refresh it, you can able to see the loading icon whenever the request is in processing. So if I go to any authentication process, that means login and registration, also we have to show the loading icon as well as the success and the error messages like login successful, login failed, etc. So now we are going to create all those things. So first of all I am going to write some components. So these are the components folder. I am going to create 3 components. The first one is success.js and the second one is error.js and the last one is loading.js. So these are the components that we are going to reuse in all these screens. So close everything first, all the things. Yeah, so now first open the loading component. So where it is, components folder. Yeah, this is loading component. First I am going to create the functional component snippet here, Control S, and here I am going to create the loading. So how can we create the loading? So you just need to simply import the bootstrap loader. So you just need to type bootstrap loader or bootstrap spinner, you can type anything, bootstrap loading. So you can get these spinners. So you can copy any one of the spinner. So I am going to copy this border spinner, or if you want to copy these styles of spinners also you can. So this is the simplest version. Copy it and paste it here. Format the document, change the class name. Here also change it the class name. And for this I am going to apply the width, style, height is equal to 80 pixels and width is also 80 pixels. Control S. So whenever the loading state is present in the reducers, we have to show this circle icon, that means loading. So remove this loading, Control S, or if you want to keep it, there is no problem for that because it is just a span element. So now I am going to add this loading in the very home page. So where is home page? Yeah, home screen. So here whenever the component is loading, we are just displaying the h1 text. So now with the help of this loader you can remove this h1 text and you can add the loader component or loading component. Loading, that's it. So whenever the state is loading, that means API request is sent but it is waiting for the response. Then these we can able to see this loading icon in the home page. So now let's refresh it. Here you can see we can able to see the loading icon. So whenever we got the result, it will be hidden like this. So if you want to increase the height or width, if you want to add the margin also you can add. So now I will add some margin. Already we have written style property, and I will change the width and height to 100 because it is looking like a small circle, 100, and I am going to add the margin top, 100 pixels. Control S. Now let's refresh the page. Yeah, now you can able to see the better circle. So this is the loading. Now I will show you the error. So if there is any error in the home page, so instead of showing the error in some simple h1 text, we can create one alert component. So now I am going to see the bootstrap alert. So you can get the alert in a red color box, bootstrap alert. So we are going to see this danger. So let me copy the danger one. So this is warning, or you can copy the danger. You can copy anything. I am going to copy the danger, and I am going to write this code in the error component. This is error.js rfc, and here I am going to paste it. So instead of class, you need to write class name, and for this error we are going to receive the props as error only, error message, and here we are going to display that message, because in some screens we will get the different types of errors. Like in registration screens we may get login failed or registration failed, or the email already exists, all those things, etc. So now I am going to write error. So whatever the error message, we will send the props to this error component. That message will be printed in the red color box. So where it is, format document, here you can see this is format document. Now if there is any error in the home screen, we are going to send the props as something went wrong. So if there is any error, here you can see this is error case. I am going to load the error component, error, and I am going to send the props as error message. Error is equal to something went wrong, something went wrong, Control S. So error is not defined, let me define it, error. So this is the error component. Yeah, now it is imported successfully, Control S. So now I am going to hit the refresh button. So as of now we do not have any errors. That's the reason we cannot able to see the error component. Now I will change the URL. So that's because we have to see the error message. So in the pizzaactions.js I am going to manipulate the URL, Control S, and now you can able to see the error message, something went wrong. So first it will show the loading icon, then it will show something went wrong. So like this the error component will work. So if everything is correct, it will be redirected and refreshed automatically whenever we hit the refresh button. Now you can able to see the pizzas. Here you can see. So if there is no error, we will see the loading icon, and after getting the response from the backend, you can able to see the result. So now I will show you the success component. So success component is also similar to error component. So I think we will use only success component in the only registration process. After the registration is successful, we have to show one message in the box with the value registration is successful. So this is the success alert. I am going to copy it. Here you can see this is the success one. Copy and paste it in the success component. This is success component RFC. So paste it here, Control S, and format document, Control S again, and here I am going to change the class name, and here we are going to receive the success prop, and here also we need to add the success prop. So whatever the message will send to the success prop, that will be printed in the green color box wherever it is added. So first of all I am going to use this success prop in the registration page. So first of all we have to log out to see the registration page. We haven't implemented the logout logic. Let me implement it. It is a small logic. We don't need separate lecture for that. So already we have the logout button. So when we click on this logout button, we should be able to logged out. First of all, let me import the logout logic in the user actions. Export const logout user is equal to dispatch. So here we don't need any type, we just need to write some logic. So you just need to remove local storage dot remove item current user, and then we need to reload window.location.href is equal to login. So whenever we click on it, this function will be executed. First we will remove the item from the current user, that means local storage. So the state will be also reset and will be navigated to the login page. Now I am going to call this function from the navbar. So where is navbar? Here you can see this is navbar. So after clicking on the logout button, so this is the anchor tag. Instead of anchor tag, here I am going to write li, and here I am going to write logout, and here I am going to write the onClick function. OnClick is equal to, I will write arrow function dispatch logout user. That's it. Control S. So dispatch and logout user are not imported. Let me import it at the top. So we have to create the object of the use dispatch, and we also need to import the logout user function, logout user. Control S. That's it, guys. Now let's click on it. So I'll expand it and I'll click on logout. Here you can see now we have navigated to the login page. If I check in the local storage or if I check in the Redux, you should be able to see the empty current user. So state, here you can see login user is equal to null. If you open the local storage also, there is no item with the current user. That means the user is logged out successfully. So now you have to implement the success component in the register process. So in the login component and in the register component, we have to add two anchor tags. So from the login component, you should be able to navigate to the register component, and from the register component, you should be able to navigate to the login component. Now I am going to add that, and where is it? So close this navbar first. Where is register screen? Yeah, this is register screen. So after the button, I am going to add one anchor tag, and I will write root is equal to login, and here I am going to write click here to login. Control S. And in the login screen, we have to write click here to register. After the button, anchor tag, register, and I am going to write click here to register. Control S. Now let's check. So we got the click here to register, and we also got the click here to login. So let me add some styling to these anchor tags. So first of all, I will add the BR here, break. So now we have the login button, bottom of the this text, anchor text, bottom of the button. So yeah, now I am going to change the color, style. Sorry, we have to add two curly braces. Color is equal to black, and I will add class name margin top. Class name, I will add margin is equal to 2. So the margin 2 is not yet applied. I'll write empty2 margin top 2, and it's not going to apply. So I don't know why the margin top is not working. So instead of applying margin top to the anchor tag, you just need to apply margin bottom for the button, MB3. Now it should work. Yeah, now it is working fine. And let me add some shadow or the elevation to this login component. Bootstrap shadow, bootstrap shadow. So actually in this lecture we have to concentrate only on 3 components like success, error, and the loading, but we are doing the additional stuff also. This is also for our lecture only. So copy this rounded shadow and paste it for the div. So this is the div. So now the shadow is applied successfully. So now we have to do the same thing for register component. First of all, I will apply the shadow for the register component. Yeah, so here I am going to apply BR after the button, and for the button I am going to apply the margin bottom is equal to 30. So now let's navigate to the register component. Here you can see in the register component also we got the same. So here I am going to change the color of this anchor tag to the black color. So style color black, Control S. Here you can see now it is in the black color. So now if the registration is successful, we have to show the success message. That means your registration is successful. So now I will get the state of the register state. So here I am going to create the state const register state equal to use state is equal to state dot register user reducer reducer. So in the register user reducer we have to check the error, loading and success. So first of all open the register user reducer. So here you can see this is the user reducer and this is the register user reducer. So if the request is sent for registration, we will get loading is equal to true. If our success, we get success is equal to true. If it is failed, we will get error. So we have to destructure out all these variables and we have to check these. So in the registration screen, I am going to destructure out all those things. Const error, loading and success equal to register state, Control S. So now we have to check all these things in the return statement. So here I am going to check it in the column D5. So first of all I am going to check direct if condition. We are not writing else condition. So if loading is equal to true, that means we have to use double and symbol. You need to render loading component. That's it. If it is success, that means if it is success, we have to render success component. With the prop user registration successful. So I'll write success is equal to user registered successfully. User registered successfully, Control S. And the last one is error component. If there is any error, you have to check the condition, and I am going to load the error component. So for this error component I am going to send the props, and the props is, let me write error. So if the registration is failed, that means the user has already registered with the email. So I am going to write email already registered, Control S. So that's it. Let me import the success component. It's not imported automatically. Import success from / component success, Control S. So now everything is working fine. So let's check the component now. Refresh the page. So here we got an error, cannot read property register user reducer. So I think we got an error in the register screen. Let me check. Const register state is equal to use state. Sorry, here we should not use use state, it is use selector. Control S. Now the error should gone. Yeah, now the error is gone. So now I am going to register with new user. So I am going to write John 123 @gmail.com, and I will use the same password for all the users, 123456. Here also 123456. I am going to click on the register button. Here you can see we got the loading and we got the message user registered successfully. So this is the success message. So if I open MongoDB, if I refresh the page, here you can see we got the third details, John 123, password is 123456. So now we have to implement the same logic in the login component also. So whenever we click on the login, you just need to show the loading icon. If the details are invalid, you have to show the error. So where is login? Yeah, this is login screen. So first of all, import the error component and the loader component. Error, loading, that's it. And here I am going to get the state of login, const login state equal to use selector state equal to state dot login user reducer, login user reducer, Control S. And now I am going to destructure out the variables in the login user reducer. So here also we are having the same variables, so loading, success and the error. So here we need not to worry about the success, because if it is success, it will be directly navigated to the home page. We have to check only loading and error. So first of all, I will destructure out const loading and error equal to login state, Control S. So now I am going to write the conditional rendering here. After the h2, I am going to write if it is loading, we have to show the loader, loading, that's it. If there is any error, we have to show invalid credentials, error with error prop, invalid credentials, Control S. So now let's try this. Let's go to the login page. So this is login. Now I am going to enter the invalid details. So value, first of all I will enter abc123@gmail.com. So if the valid password is 123456, but I am going to enter the invalid password 321456. Login, loading icon, here you can see invalid credentials. So if you observe, we are getting the loading icon at the left side. So I am going to place this at the right center. So go to the loading, and here for this div, apply the class as text center. Class name is equal to text center, Control S. Now click on the login. Now you can able to see the loading at the center of the page. So if we enter the valid details, it will be directly navigated to the home page. So the valid details are 123456. Click on login, loading. Here you can see now we are in the home page. We got the user in the nav bar, and these are the orders, and these are the logout. So by this we have completed everything in the authentication process along with the CSS. Thank you.